Should you even start a consulting company? And if so, when is a good time to start a consulting company? Starting a consulting company means we're starting a business. Let's talk about businesses first. A really good business book that I really resonated with and I really liked the advice from it is called The Fast Lane Millionaire. It's by MJ DeMarco. And in the book, he breaks down how do you evaluate a good business idea? What makes up a good business model? He has something called a CENTS model, CENTS. And that acronym, each letter stands for something, but the T and the S stand for time and scale. And MJ talks about you need to be able to free yourself from the time on having a good business. So if I do 40 hours worth of work, my output shouldn't be limited to my direct input. Because if that happens, there's a limited amount of time that is out there for everyone. There's going to be a point where I just literally cannot scale the business anymore because the money is dependent on the time that I put in. So then how do you scale? Well, then the next thing you have to do is you end up having to hire people. And that's how you scale the business. Now, it's not your time that's being traded, but it's other people's time that is being traded. So that's how we scale the business. And that is what consulting comes down to. We are employees of a consulting companies, or we are running our own consulting company and we are trading time for money. A consulting company basically grows by hiring more consultants to work for the different clients that they have. So they acquire clients and they hire people to work on that project, and then that is how they scale and grow. That is really tough to do. Managing humans is really hard and it doesn't scale one-to-one very easily. So then another thing that really resonated with me is from Naval Ravikant. Naval talks about how there are 4 types of leverage. So how consulting company scales is through scaling through employees, which is through labor. He talks about the 4 different types of leverage. So leverage basically means if I put 1 unit of input, I should be able to get not just 1 unit of output. I should be able to get a lot more. So it should kind of multiply over time. The first type of leverage is capital. And capital is something like money. So think about like you need to buy real estate. You need to have capital that buys assets that generates you more money, or stocks and bonds, things like that. So the second one is labor. This is where the consulting companies come in and how they scale. They scale through labor. They hire employees to scale. And then the third thing is through code. Now this is where all the new stuff is happening. All the new millionaires are being created. You have all these software as a service companies that are coming out, subscription-based stuff. Now they can grow without having to do one-to-one input and output. They can sell their subscription to a lot more people and then they can grow their business that way. So that's one of the more ideal type of leverage in the modern day. Then the fourth one is media. One example of this is before I started this channel, I had a lot of friends who would ask me questions about technology or consulting. I would answer each person's question individually because it was all at a different time. So I answered the same question 10 different times, and to 10 different people, I decided to use YouTube as my leverage platform. I would record the video one time and then now everyone around the world can benefit. And in return, I benefited from everyone around the world, whoever asked me questions, commented on things, or taught me something new. So this fourth type of leverage is media. So given this information, you have to ask yourself, should you start a consulting company? Is it the best thing to do? Do you really want to scale through employees? Or are you going to be doing one-on-one consulting? And how much is your time worth? How much can you potentially grow with just doing one-on-one type of stuff if you're just in a company by yourself? So my perspective is it is really good to do consulting, but only if you are so good at what you do and you have credibility built in place that you can charge a lot more. That way you don't have to trade your time for money. And that 1 hour of your time can bring in a lot more value to someone who you are consulting for, someone you're coaching. I would not do it 5 years out of college. I wouldn't start it early on unless you've done something so extraordinary in that 5 to 10 year mark that other people want to use what you have. And you can do that at a scale given one of the forms of leverage. So that's my perspective on when you should start your own tech consulting company. So here's a video on what do you need to become a good technical consultant. And in this video, I talk about some of the things you should be looking out for when you're thinking about starting your own business. So I'll see you in the next one.